Level 5. Entering the Amazon Dungeon. The Launch. Chapter 34. How do I build a listing that ranks organically? In God we trust. All others must bring data. William Edwards Deming, legendary statistician and quality management pioneer. If you want to build a listing that ranks organically on Amazon, you need to understand one fundamental truth. The Amazon algorithm is primarily keyword driven. It's not about fancy copywriting or even beautiful images, although those two help with conversion, of course, but it's about having the right keywords in the right places. You don't want to be wasting thousands of dollars on PPC only because your listings weren't properly optimized for ranking organically in the first place. You'd be essentially experiencing a very high tacos caused by a poor keyword setup. I've tested several keyword strategies over the years, and this is my bulletproof system for building listings that rank organically from day one. It's the exact system I keep using for 100% of my products across all Amazon marketplaces and across all languages. The foundation: a thorough keyword research. Everything starts with proper keyword research. And I mean proper research, not just guessing what people might search for or copying competitors' titles and or bullet points. And yes, I'm looking at you, lazy copycat offer creators, stealing peanut-sized market shares with your zero added value products. I exclusively use Helium 10 for this. Again, there are other tools out there like Jungle Scout, but after testing most of them extensively, Helium 10 consistently provides the most accurate keyword data for Amazon-specific research. At least to this day, I'm writing this book and saying these words. Here's my 7-step standard operating procedure for conducting deep keyword research that will set your listing up for bestseller rank success. Step 1 out of 7. Create a list of relevant competitors. You've already confirmed that your product will be profitable based on your niche validation. See Chapter 10. But in terms of the listing building, you'll need to identify exactly who you're competing against. Not just any competitors that make money, but the right ones. So, first, launch the Helium 10 Chrome extension in your browser. Then go to the Amazon marketplace where you'll be selling, for example, Amazon.com for the USA. Log into your Amazon buyer account and enter a delivery address in that country. Note 1. Make sure that your target marketplace is one supported by the Helium 10 Chrome extension, as some newer ones might not be. Note 2. Adding a delivery address in the country of the marketplace before running your Helium 10 analysis is crucial and easy to forget, as not all the products are available internationally. Hence, having a foreign delivery address might make your analysis incomplete. Then, type a buying intent keyword in the Amazon search bar. Note 1. A buying intent keyword clearly describes your product. For example, quote-unquote, pregnancy wedge pillow instead of just, quote-unquote, pillow. No one on Amazon buys the exact pillow they were looking for after just searching, quote-unquote, pillow. Note 2. If your product serves multiple purposes, hence has different keywords leading to the same buying intent, then you might need to type several keywords in the search bar to cover all ground of your product's buying intent. Note 3, only for non-English language marketplaces. You can search your buying intent in English even in a non-English marketplace, since Amazon Translation is very good at displaying relevant products with any input language. That way, you'll be able to achieve step 1 of the keyword research on any marketplace, and even if you don't speak the marketplace language. Then, once you have all the results for your keyword search displayed, use the Helium 10 extension X-ray tool and sort results by revenue, highest to lowest. Now, add these filters. Remove all sponsored results. Eliminate competitors with prices that are 30% higher or lower than yours for only analyzing comparable products, as a product's price has a role to play in the definition of a buying intent, of course. And finally, add the filter, ASIN should generate at least $10,000 in monthly revenue, $5,000 for non-US marketplaces. Note, why 5K of revenue minimum? Because for an average product price of $30, 5K of monthly revenue represents 5,000 divided by 30 equals 5 product sales minimum per day. This amount of daily sales is the absolute minimum data you need to know which levers to properly activate in your strategy. For example, checking if a PPC campaign sales are impacting your organic sales in the right direction is impossible if your total sales are 1 or 2 sales per day, but also to identify trend properly. For example, if sales are down due to seasonality or down due to a change you made in your listing, the closer your daily sales amounts is to 0, the harder it is to know what's causing a drop in those daily sales. You need to be able to analyze your sales ups and downs to know what works and what doesn't. Data is the holy grail of the Amazon FBA game. Then, order the results by ASIN revenue, descendant, and filter the results again manually this time. Remove products from big famous brands because they play by different rules as we mentioned previously. And remove competitors that don't share your exact buying intent. Example 1, 2 maternity pillows with different shapes don't share the same buying intent. Example 2, children's running shoes with a Velcro strap versus laces might also represent different buying intents, although they might not if that feature is not essential to the product offer. Example 3, products with different functions or shaped generally have different buying intent. Use your common sense and don't overthink it. Just think like a customer with an attention span of 3 seconds, aka a normal customer. If you see a noticeable difference, consider it as a different buying intent. Your competition analysis is better being too narrow than too broad in this process. And finally, remove competitors that have been selling for less than 60 days, since their BSR and revenue most likely are not organic, hence probably not the organic SEO result of their optimized keywords. Then, export this list of competitors to a CSV spreadsheet, then copy the Google Sheet template named Keyword Research Template located on endgamexp.com/FBA cheatcodes-LVL5. Note, this Google Sheet includes automated filtering features you'll need in step 2 out of 7 and step 4 out of 7 of the process. Then, in your editable copied Google Sheet, paste your competitors' data in the first tab called Competitors ASINs, starting from column B. And finally, in column A of your spreadsheet, add the search term you use to find each competitor. It's just for your own reference. Try to end up with exactly 10 relevant competitors. This will give you the perfect sample size for the next steps. On the paperback version, you see a keyword research example. And of course, you can access this example and the template you can use on the link mentioned previously, endgamexp.com/FBA cheatcodes-LVL5. Step 2 out of 7. Create your never keywords list. Never keywords are keywords you do not want to rank on, ever. They are extremely important and sellers tend to completely forget about them, as they focus only on keywords they want to rank for, ignoring the thousands of keywords they should avoid. Know that the Amazon algorithm is far from perfect and that your product will rank on many keywords that are irrelevant. That will happen organically and through your PPC campaigns, which might end up costing you a lot for no result. The Never Keyword list helps you identify terms that would waste your ad budget or attract the wrong traffic to your listing. Part 1. Adding the Never Keywords. First, connect to your Helium 10 account in the Cerebro tool and enter the list of competitors' ASINs you got from step 1 out of 7. Then, export all the keyword results in a CSV file. Then, from that CSV file, copy these keywords to the Helium 10 keyword processor tool. It's still in your Helium 10 platform account, and apply these filters. Add one word phrase per line, include frequency count, remove special characters, English-speaking marketplace only, remove duplicates, convert to lowercase, remove common words, that's also for English-speaking marketplaces only, and remove single letters. Note, as of 2025, Helium 10 does not support the features remove special characters or remove common words for non-English languages. In the paperback version, you see screenshots of how you should set up the Helium 10 keyword processor tool, just like we just mentioned. Then, organize results alphabetically in the keyword processor. Then, copy both the individual words and their frequency count to column A and B of a second tab in your keyword research Google Sheet called 1.neverkeywords. See the screenshot in the paperback version. Then review each keyword and remove from the list any that are relevant to your product. I recommend you highlight them first and give it a second look to make sure that you don't accidentally remove any non-relevant keyword, since this exercise can be a bit tiring, but is a very important one. Again, you only want to keep keywords that are not relevant to your product in your never keyword list. Here are some examples and tips. For a pregnancy pillow product, for example, delete words like pregnancy, pregnant, pillows, because these are relevant, of course. If your product is white, delete white, but keep red, as your product is not red, so it's irrelevant, so you should keep it. Delete positive adjectives like great or good, as they are of course relevant to your product, which is obviously great. Delete spelling mistakes of your product, as they are still relevant. Delete relevant keywords in foreign language, to the best of your knowledge, of course. And don't worry if you only speak one language. And for non-English searches, remove common words manually from your list. As I was just said, keyword processor cannot do it automatically for languages that are not English. For example, in Spanish, remove the common words such as de, a, del, etc. What you are left with is a list of never keywords that are completely unrelated to your product. These are terms that you should never target organically or with any PPC campaign. They will be useful especially, but not only, when creating your PPC broad or auto ad campaigns in Amazon advertising to make sure that Amazon never targets these keywords when advertising your product. You just saved yourself months of manual PPC campaigns filtering and thousands of wasted ad dollars. Part 2. Adding the brand name words. First, copy all the brand names of your competitors from the first tab, Competitors ASINs, to the third column of your Never Keywords tab. Then, from your Amazon search results, copy all brand names from the brands filter on the left sidebar, or simply from the brand present on the first page of the result. Then, add your own brand name to the list. Note, you don't want to waste ad money by targeting your own brand with PPC at first. You should only do it when you are a market leader and want to protect your listing from being ad targeted by smaller brands trying to steal some of your market share. Only at that point should you create ad campaigns targeting your own product, not before. In the paperback version, you have a screenshot of an example never keyword list, which again is accessible on endgamexp.com/FBA cheatcodes-LVL5. Step 3 out of 7. Define your root keywords. Root keywords are the foundation of your keyword strategy. They are the broad, fundamental terms that represent the core concept of your product. For example, if you're selling running shoes, root keywords might include running shoes, athletic footwear, and jogging sneakers. Here's how to identify them. First, go back to the Helium 10 Cerebro tool with your 10 competitors ASINs keyword results. Then filter the results by minimum search volume 100, could be 50 for non-US marketplaces, word count minimum 1, maximum 3, and match type organic. Then export these results to a CSV file, and then from that CSV, copy the keywords to a new tab of your keyword research Google Sheet called Root Keywords. And then order the keywords alphabetically and organize them by root keyword families. A proper root keyword is defined by it represents a specific keyword family. For example, maternity pillow and pregnancy pillow are two different keyword families. It contains no adjectives like size, color, etc. It contains no brand names. It doesn't include useless plural forms if the singular is already a root keyword. And it contains no prepositions like of, for, to, etc. After organizing all of your keyword into families of keywords, you should end up with 5 to 10 root keywords maximum. You can see an example of root keywords on the paperback version, or again on the link endgamexp.com/FBA cheatcodes-LVL5. Note 1. Helium 10 treats hyphenated words as separated words. For example, quote-unquote, anti-bruit becomes anti and bruit because there was an hyphen in between the two words. Note 2. For non-English languages, Know that Helium-10 doesn't properly handle accented characters. For example, bébé with the accent on the E's versus bébé without the accents on the E's. Step 4 out of 7. Create long-tail keyword lists. For each root keyword, create a new tab named 3.1 LT-root keyword. These tabs will be where you list your long-tail keywords. Long-tail keywords are more specific phrases that include your root keywords. They typically have lower search volume, but often much higher conversion rate since they're usually typed manually, as opposed to a recommended search filled by the Amazon search bar. And they're usually longer and more detailed in the description of the search product. First, in Helium-10 Cerebro, filter your 10 competitors' keyword result by phrase containing. For each root keyword, enter its word separated by comma. For example, for the root keyword pregnancy wedge pillow, enter pregnancy, comma, wedge, comma, pillow. A minimum search volume of 100 or 50 for non-US marketplaces. And match type organic. Export results to a CSV file, and from that CSV, copy the keywords to the appropriate long-tail keyword tab. Then repeat this process for different combinations of the plural version of each word of your root keyword. For example, pregnancy, comma, wedge, comma, pillow, then pregnancy, comma, wedges, comma, pillow, then pregnancy, comma, wedge, comma, pillows, etc. In the Google Sheet navigation bar, find the Custom Tools option and click on the sub-option named Highlight Never Keywords in Long-Tail Keyword to activate the Google Sheet script, which is already coded in the Sheet app script. That highlights your long-tail keyword containing words from your Never Keywords list. Then delete irrelevant keywords that have been highlighted in red by the script. Then review each long-tail keyword list and manually remove any keyword that you feel is irrelevant to your product. Note: if you are unsure about the relevancy of a specific keyword, search it on Amazon. If less than 30% of results on page 1 are relevant competitors, i.e. product with the exact same buying intent, then delete this keyword from your long-tail keyword list. And finally, in your long-tail keywords analysis, if you find specific words to add to your Never Keywords list, add them manually in the Never Keywords tab and re-click on Custom Tools / Highlight Never Keywords in Long-Tail Keyword in the Google Sheet navigation. On the paperback version, you see a screenshot of an example of a long-tail keyword. You can also find it on the same link, endgamexp.com / FBA cheatcodes -LVL5. Step 5 out of 7. Create your master keywords list. First, copy all keywords from each long-tail keyword list into a new tab called 3.2 Master List in your Keyword Research Google Sheet. Delete all duplicates. They should be highlighted in light red by the automated script of the Google Sheet. Then review all keywords one last time for relevancy and delete the ones that are not relevant. See description of a keyword relevancy in step 4 out of 7. In the paperback version, you see a screenshot of an example master keyword list, and you can still access it on endgamexp.com / FBA cheatcodes -LVL5. Step 6 out of 7. Get your single keywords list. Copy all of the keywords from your master keyword list to Helium-10's keyword processor tool. Apply the same filters as before in step 2 out of 7, which are add one word phrase per line, include frequency count, remove special characters for English-speaking marketplace only, remove duplicates, convert to lowercase, remove common words, which is for English-speaking marketplace only, and remove single letters. Then export the results and paste them in a new tab called 3.3 Single Words in your Keyword Research Google Sheet. Then for non-English languages, remove common words manually. In the paperback version, you can see a screenshot of an example of a single keyword list, which you can also access on endgamexp.com / FBA cheatcodes -LVL5. And finally, step 7 out of 7, create your PPC keywords list. Finally, let's create your PPC keywords list. This step is crucial to optimally set up your future PPC campaigns. We'll cover that later in chapter 42. First, in your 3.2 Master List tab, highlight in bold all the hyper-relevant keywords. Your hyper-relevant keywords define exactly your product, as opposed to a relevant keyword, which just define the niche. Note: for a pregnancy wedge pillow, the term pregnancy wedge pillow is hyper-relevant, but pregnancy pillow is only relevant because it could include other products with different buying intents. For example, a pregnancy pillow in a different shape than a wedge. The relevancy or hyper-relevancy of a keyword depends on the niche your product is in. You have to be the judge of each case, as the goal only is to categorize your keyword in 2 relevancy categories. Then, in this new tab, organize keywords into 3 columns. Column number 1, the hyper-relevant and high-volume keywords. High volume means more than 1,000 search per month. Column 2, the hyper-relevant and low volume. Low volume being less than 1,000 monthly searches. And finally, column 3, the relevant and high volume. High volume is more than 1,000 searches, as we just mentioned. Then, color code the keywords by product themes. In the column hyper-relevant and high volume, use different colors for different themes. For example, travel pillow and pillow for travel, you can put them in red for the theme travel. And cooling pillow and refreshing pillow, you can put that in blue for the theme cooling, etc. Then make the theme words bold. For example, put travel in bold for travel pillow. And in column hyper-relevant and low volume and relevant and high volume, so the 2 other columns, you color keywords according to their theme that you define in the column hyper-relevant and high volume. If a keyword contains multiple themes, just use your judgment to decide which is primary. Just don't overthink it. In the paperback version, you see a screenshot of an example of a PPC keywords list, and of course, you can still access it on endgamexp.com/FBA cheatcodes-LVL5. Write your Amazon listing text elements. Now that your keyword research is completed, it's time to create your listings text elements with the keywords that you've just harvested. Remember those master keywords and single keyword that we created in steps 5 and 6? This is where you need to use them alongside the product marketing guideline you created, refer to chapter 29. You need to strategically distribute these keywords throughout your listing, following the Amazon algorithm priority order, which is first, title. It has the highest Amazon SEO impact. Then bullet points. It's the second highest. Then the backend keywords. They are invisible but important. And then the description. Yes, it still matters, even if this will be hidden by your A+ content. When building your title, insert as many of your master keywords as you can without turning it into a keyword salad. One important lesson is that Amazon algorithm will hate it if you use the exact same keyword twice in your title. They actually made it against their terms of services in 2025. But will they close your listing for it? No. Although, why taking the risk of getting flagged or silently downranked when it's so easy to avoid? There are rules to follow when writing listing copy, and they change often, so make sure to know them and follow them as much as you can. You can refer to the Amazon official documentation to stay up to date. Note: since Amazon loves to change their terms of services and rules documentation links, I highly recommend you search for them using the Seller Central search bar first and foremost. That said, at the time of publication of this book, here were the official ones for listing title and bullet point requirements. For the Amazon product title requirements and guideline, you can access them on the link provided in the paperback version, or as I said, just look for them on the Seller Central search bar. Same thing goes for the product bullet points requirements. The backend keyword section is a simple keyword dump place, no brainer here. As for the description, even if you're using the A+ content, which will visually replace your text description, this description still plays a role in your Amazon SEO strategy behind the scenes. So don't skip this just because your customers won't be able to see it. Your mission is to have every keyword from your single keyword list appear at least once in your listing's text somewhere, and every keyword from your master keyword list to appear at least once in the title, bullet points, or description as much as possible. So imagine this text like a puzzle in which each keyword can fit naturally while still producing natural-looking killer copy in your title and bullet points. Note: some tools like Helium 10 or Jungle Scout offers some text creation features you can use if you need help with the copywriting. I would highly recommend you use AI chatbots to help you by always making sure to include all the keywords you harvested. Here is a prompt to help you do just that with your AI chatbot. AI chatbot prompt for writing my Amazon listing text element. In the paperback version, I'm giving a very detailed AI chatbot prompt for doing just what I mentioned, but you can access it and copy it directly from the link endgamexp.com/FBA cheatcodes-LDL5. What will be the impact of doing this on each marketplace? This process might seem time-consuming. If you can achieve all these steps in less than half a day, you already are a champion. Especially since you absolutely have to do it for each marketplace you plan to launch your product on. For example, Amazon USA, Amazon Canada, Amazon Mexico, etc. But it's the foundation of a listing that ranks organically. I've used this exact method to rank dozens of products on page 1 of my main keyword search result without relying heavily on PPC, but especially to rank on page 1 of hundreds of long-tail keywords without relying on PPC at all. And that last part is the secret sauce that successful sellers are adding to their strategy. Overlooking the long-tail keyword is a death sentence, or at the very least, a one-way ticket to having a 25% plus tacos. Amazon's algorithm is looking for relevancy first. By thoroughly understanding your keywords landscape, including what to target and what to avoid, you're giving your listing the best possible chance to rank organically from day one. So make sure you've completed this keyword research process with attention. It's the most important part in building a listing that ranks organically for every relevant search, and again, it will save you thousands of dollars in PPC spend down the road. Key takeaways. The Amazon algorithm is keyword first. BSRs are way more built on relevancy than on creativity. Helium 10 is your best tool for deep Amazon-specific keyword research across almost all Amazon marketplaces. Keyword research should always be this simple. Competitors, then root keywords, then long-tail keywords, then master keyword list, then single keyword list, then PPC keywords. Don't just list what to rank for. Build a never keyword list to avoid wasting your PPC budget on irrelevant traffic. This process is your best defense against high tacos and is your best weapon for organic visibility. Writing your listing text is where the keyword puzzle comes together. Place every keyword naturally across the title, bullets, backend, and the description for the best Amazon SEO performance possible. Chapter 35. How can I create a product listing in a language I don't speak? Nobody speaks all the languages of all the countries where Amazon marketplaces are present. Think about it. Amazon retail marketplaces now run in more than 20 countries. You've got the US, the UK, Canada, Germany, France, Spain, Italy, Japan, Brazil, India, the UAE, Saudi Arabia, Australia, Netherlands, Sweden, Poland, Mexico, Belgium, and Ireland, and the list keeps growing. And that's just the official marketplaces. If you're doing any cross-border selling, like shipping EU products to Czech Republic, for example, you're going to face even more linguistic headaches. Every one of these marketplaces is optimized for its local shoppers. They search in their own language, they buy in their own language, and they obviously trust listings written in their own language. And that is including their own languages gimmicks that even AI chatbots are far from being able to reproduce, even with the best prompts in the world. Amazon customers make it very clear that if you want your offer to be considered seriously, then your listing titles, bullets, A+ content, and backend keywords must be in that country's native language, written by a native language speaker. Now, unless you're hiding a secret past life as a United Nations interpreter, there's no way you can cover all these languages by yourself. And guess what? You don't have to. The real game is about learning to systematically navigate those language barriers with the right cheat codes. Here is what beginner sellers do. They rely 100% on human translators, which becomes expensive, slow, and can be irrelevant if that translator doesn't know or understand the Amazon listing optimization rules. Or they try to dump everything into Google Translate or ChatGPT manually, which is painful when you deal with the thousands of keywords and need a native speaker touch. Or worse, they ignore translations altogether and just hope English will carry the sales. A spoiler, it doesn't. Germans don't search for pregnancy wedge pillow in English. They type a word that I can absolutely not pronounce, and that's not a joke. And if it doesn't show up for that term, your pregnancy pillow is invisible in Germany, period. So, let's talk secret translation hacks. Translating on the fly in Google Sheets. You already know how to do your keyword research using Helium 10 and your keyword research Google Sheet. See previous chapter. So here's a weapon that will help you save a lot of time. The built-in Google Translate function. It doesn't look sexy at first glance, but trust me, this thing can be your rocket fuel when you're doing multi-language keyword researches. Here's how it works. First, follow the keyword research process listed in the previous chapter on a marketplace in a language that you don't speak. Let's say in Mexican Spanish, in Amazon Mexico. Even without speaking Spanish, you should be able to get to the end of step 1 out of 7 of the process in chapter 34. Then, once you get to step 2 out of 7, you have a lot of unfiltered never keywords. Add a column next to your never keywords between column A and B. And then, in this new column B, just drop this code in the first row and drag it down. Equal Google Translate uppercase, open bracket A2, comma, quote ES, unquote, comma, quote EN, unquote, close bracket. Let me break this down for you. A2 is the cell containing the Spanish text you want to translate. ES is the source language code, ISO 6391 standard. In this case, ES means Spanish. And EN, this is the target language code. EN is English. Note, here are the source language code ISO 6391 standard for other languages for countries where Amazon has marketplaces. For United States, it's EN, Germany, DE, UK, EN, Japan, JA, France, FR, Canada, EN or FR, Mexico, ES, Italy, IT, Spain, ES, Netherlands, NL, Sweden, SV, Poland, PL, Belgium, NL or FR, Ireland, EN, Brazil, PT, India, HI, Singapore, EN, Australia, EN, United Arab Emirates, AR, Saudi Arabia, AR, and finally Egypt, AR. The result? Instantly, the Spanish words in column A appears in English in your new column B. And you can copy this down for hundreds of rows at once. Zero extra cost. No third-party app, and no wasted hours of copying and pasting. If you don't even know the source language, say you just pasted some random keywords and you cannot tell if it's German, Italian, or Dutch, you can let Google Sheets auto-detect the language. Instead of ES, just put auto, like this. Equal, Google Translate in uppercase, open bracket, A2, comma, quote auto, unquote, comma, quote EN, unquote, close bracket. Now Google Sheets will figure it out for you and translate it. How accurate is this keyword research using this hack? As mentioned before, this hack is what it is, a hack. Hence, it has its pros, saving time, being 100% free, and being pretty accurate, but also a major con. This only con that is worth mentioning is that because languages are by nature complex, only relying on Google Translate to capture the real cultural meaning of a word isn't gonna deliver perfect results. At least not as much as a real human speaking the language natively would do. Which is why if you want your international listing conversion to evolve from great, using the Google Translate hack, to absolutely perfect, then you should find a virtual assistant who's a native speaker to perform all the steps requiring a native speaker's judgment. Here is how. A standard operating procedure. Outsourcing your keyword research to a virtual assistant. Here you'll find the standard operating procedure to provide to your keyword researcher's virtual assistant. My advice is that you should hire virtual assistants that are good with analytics but have never worked on Helium 10 before. You can share a restricted access to them during the mission. That way, you can guarantee that they will never share your precious keyword research to anyone else, as a virtual assistant that works with other Amazon FBA private label sellers might do. Also, It's absolutely mandatory that you hire a native language speaker for the reasons described above. Access and copy the standard operating procedure titled SOP Keyword Research on endgamexp.com/FBA cheatcodes-LVL5. You now know that you don't need to speak 10 plus languages to sell internationally on Amazon. You need systems that reduce the barrier to entry. The Google Translate sell function is one of those cheat codes. It lets you manage your researches and make quick decisions without worrying about language. That all said, never rely on raw Google Translate or any AI results for copywriting your actual listing text in foreign language once you have your harvested keywords. It will sound robotic and kill conversions. More on that in chapter 49. But for research, for review analysis, and for keyword mapping, AI-based translation tools are absolutely enough. This is how you keep the competitive edge, not by speaking every Amazon language yourself, but by knowing the shortcut to understand and act on local markets faster than your competitors. Key takeaways. You don't need to speak 10 languages, you need a system for researching in them. The Google Translate function in Google Sheets is a free, fast way to translate keywords at scale. Use Auto as source language to instantly translate unknown languages to English. For maximum conversion, train native-speaking virtual assistants to refine your keyword researches. And never use raw AI or Google Translate for customer-facing text, only for keyword research and mapping. Chapter 36. How can I get reviews fast while respecting Amazon rules? Let's now tackle one of the most important aspects of the first month of each product launch, the product reviews/ratings acquisition speed. Each time I launch a new product, I'm obsessed with reviews. I'm struggling to not check my listing every hour to see the number increase and the rating stay high. Why? Because the amount of product reviews isn't just a vanity metrics. It's the social proof that convinces complete strangers to buy from you. If your rating is good, that means above 4.3 stars, then the numbers of reviews is the most important metric that decides the path your product is going to take, one of success or one of failure. That said, during a launch, you spend a considerable amount of time building this social proof, and the speed at which you obtain these reviews is even more crucial to launch in a market successfully. Note, here you might think that we're talking about the count of written reviews, but not all ratings on Amazon are joined with a review. We are addressing the count of ratings, but calling it reviews in this chapter. Why is it important to obtain reviews fast? There are 3 reasons why your review acquisition speed is crucial. First reason, the Amazon algorithm loves them. It attributes a better bestseller ranking, BSR, to products showing strong early engagement. Each review signals to the algorithm that your product deserves more visibility. The faster you get reviews, the more PPC budget you save, as well as time trying to rank organically with just your listing's SEO. Second reason, reviews create a powerful feedback loop. More reviews means better ranking equals more visibility, which means more sales, which means more reviews, etc., etc. This virtuous cycle compounds rapidly when started early, but it takes much longer to initiate if your listing has a low unit sales velocity. Again, this is a way to save time and impose your market presence faster. And third reason, the amount of reviews will be one of the most important criteria that will make your product seriously stand out in your niche. The faster you reach each psychological threshold, see below, the faster you'll be able to have stability in your product's revenue and assign your company's effort onto another quest. For example, scaling the product to another market, launching another product or brand, etc. The 4 psychological thresholds of reviews. Think of the number of reviews on your listing as milestone markers for your Amazon journey. Each threshold is a checkpoint that unlocks different buyer psychology. Threshold 1 review. It's the icebreaker. Just getting that first authentic review feels like a breakthrough. You should always enjoy that feeling to the max. Someone actually bought and liked your product enough to talk about it. Congrats. Why should you focus on crossing this checkpoint? The first review breaks the ice on your listing and shows you are legitimate. As Peter Thiel puts it in his book 0 to 1, moving from nothing to something makes the whole difference. In the Amazon retail context, It should be an absolute must-have to start your PPC campaigns. You should never launch any PPC campaign without that one crucial review on your product. Obviously, a 5-star rating. This is a universal Amazon retail rule now that applies to any product niche. No one buys an Amazon product without at least one review when it's displayed in an ocean of other options, especially if it's displayed through a PPC ad. Threshold 2, 10 reviews, the trust builder. At this stage, shoppers see your offer as a real product with some traction. Why should you focus on crossing this checkpoint? The fear of being your first customer starts to vanish from the head of your prospects. It's like a restaurant with a few tables filled. It must be decent enough for others to try. This checkpoint is when you should start to track your conversion rate, as it will start to realistically indicate what it will be in your product's future. And it will help you understand if your listing and product are a good market fit or if they need improvement. The 10 reviews checkpoint is the moment when prospects start to check other aspects of your listing after confirming that you have enough social proof to be taken seriously. Threshold 3, 100 reviews, the credibility marker. Now you're established. Buyers perceive your product as proven and tested. This is typically when conversion rate significantly stabilizes, as long as your rating is 4.3 stars or more. And Amazon's algorithms start considering your listing like a legit offer. Why should you focus on crossing this checkpoint? At this point, you should start focusing on your rating. The 3-digit review count means your listing enters the big boys room. From this point, you can, for example, start to run product targeting PPC campaigns, targeting all your competitors with 1-2-digit review counts from 1 to 99 reviews, as you immediately appear more serious in the eyes of your prospects. There is a huge psychological difference between a 99 reviews product and one with 100 or more. Threshold 4, 500 reviews, the authority position. At this level, you've crossed into premium territory. Your product appears more trustworthy than 90% of competitors. Shoppers gravitate toward you naturally, and your cost per acquisition drops considerably. Why should you focus on crossing this checkpoint? When a product has more than 500 reviews, the percentage of additional sales made by a similar product that has between 1,000 to 10,000 reviews in the same niche isn't so significant. Not like the massive jumps you see from 10 to 100 or 100 to 500 reviews. At this point, you need to pivot your focus toward increasing your average rating rather than obsessing over review quantity. The real game becomes maintaining and improving that precious rating. Always keeping in mind that the main goal is to have a 4.5 plus star rating. Beyond 500 reviews, that rating is what actually moves the needle on conversions. How many reviews drive incremental sales on Amazon? On the paperback version, you can find a table of how many reviews can drive incremental sales depending on the different threshold we talked about. You can find this table on marshalstock.com/how-many-reviews-drive-incremental-sales-on-Amazon. In a nutshell, if you have between 16 to 25 ratings, you see an increase of sales percentage of 25% compared to 0. If you have between 101 and 200 rating, you can see a sales percentage increase compared to 0 of plus 320% and an increase of 85% compared to the previous tier. And if you have 501 plus ratings, you can see an increase of sales compared to 0 of plus 856% and plus 128% from the previous tier. The Holy Grail, 1,000 plus reviews with 4.5 plus stars. This is where the real magic happens. Your product becomes the default choice in your niche. Amazon may feature you permanently in Amazon's Choice or bestseller spots. If you reach this product review count and average rating, you are most likely a market leader and should focus on defending your position rather than improving it. That said, this statement is valid for each of your product's variations. Just because one of your product's variation is leading the market, you shouldn't ignore improving the ratings of your other variations. Deploy cheat codes, but never try to cheat Amazon. Finally, let's be crystal clear about something. Never, ever try to manipulate Amazon's review system illegally. The algorithm is smarter than you think, and the consequences can destroy your business permanently. I've seen it happen once. A six-figure brand wiped out overnight for review manipulation. XP boost negative. At the e-commerce expo 2023 in London, which is the UK's largest digital commerce event, I had coffee with a private label seller while we shared our biggest failure stories. He told me he lost one of his six-figure businesses almost overnight earlier that year. He told me these exact words. I grew it to 15K monthly turnover in 6 months, but last month it vanished. Turns out that he had asked relatives and friends to post reviews on his new product page, just like he did on his previous brand's product. It seems pretty harmless, right? Except that these same people had already left reviews for his other product that he was managing through another Seller Central account. Long story short, the algorithm instantly detected either the same IPs, networks, or just Amazon accounts from his friends and family connections, then flagged his new business for review manipulation, rejected his appeal, let his stock linger on Amazon, and killed his new brand project in one blow. So he had to liquidate his stock and close definitely his new Seller Central account where this brand's product was set up. In other words, he was no black hat seller. He simply didn't realize that Amazon keeps track of review behaviors across all its accounts with terrifying accuracy. The moral is, don't play with fire when it comes to Amazon reviews acquisition, as they take review authenticity extremely seriously. So how do we get reviews fast, ethically, and efficiently? Let's break it down into 3 steps. Fast review acquisition, step 1. Soft launch phase, the first 10 days. The first 10 days of your product launch are critical. We will address the complete timeline in the next chapter. During this soft launch period, your primary focus should be quickly generating those first 10 reviews through completely legitimate means, no friends or family. Here's how. 1. Enroll in Amazon Vine in your main country with the maximum units allowed. Top priority. I'm sure you already know about the Vine program, and yes, it's the best way to quickly get term of services compliant reviews when you're launching any new product on Amazon. That said, let's see how to really leverage it to its full potential. As soon as your units arrive in Amazon warehouses, you'll be able to enroll them in the Vine program. Amazon Vine is hands down the fastest legitimate way to get your first reviews. This program allows Amazon to reserve some of your products in their warehouse to ship them to trusted reviewers in exchange for their honest feedback. In the US marketplace, you can enroll up to 30 units. That's the maximum allowed as of 2025. Note, when launching a private label product, you should mitigate your risk and avoid launching in several markets at the same time. Also, although it can be easier, meaning with less competition, to test your product by launching it in a smaller market, it's an absolute priority to launch it on an Amazon marketplace that supports the Vine program. Expert mode. If your budget allows, enroll multiple variations of your product during its soft launch period. For example, if you sell silicone kitchen utensils in different colors, enroll each color variation separately. This maximizes your potential review counts while staying 100% within Amazon rules. The conversion rate from Vine units to actual reviews is typically 70% to 90%, which is way higher than any other method. Yes, you're giving away free product, but consider it part of your marketing cost. Note, for 30 Vine product units enrolled, from experience, you can get about 10 reviews in 10 days with each Vine program. The next 10 usually take about 1 month to arrive, and the final 5 to 10 reviews can take another month. I usually have about 27 Vine reviews for each 30 units claimed, and an average rating of 4.5 for a product that had no real noticeable issues. 2. Temporarily set a low price to increase your Vine values. During the soft launch phase, consider setting your product price low, 10% below its future target price. Lower price means increased price to value ratio, which will push your Vine reviewers to rate your product higher. See next step. The Vine reviewers usually do not mention in their reviews how much they paid for your product. Only about 5% of them do from experience. They might even comment that this product has a great value for its price, which will still be visible even after you have raised the price later. 3. Enroll in Amazon Vine in secondary countries with the maximum units allowed. Amazon Vine exists in several countries. Also, if you have an Amazon Seller Central account open in these countries, and if your advertising budget allows it, you should send units to cover the Vine programs in these countries. Yes, your reviews will be in the local language, but Amazon auto-translate reviews on each marketplace for the shoppers. And more reviews means more ratings, and the amount of ratings is what matters most during the launch phase. This is a bit of an expensive launch technique, as each Vine program has a cost on the top of the landed cost of the product you're offering for free. But if successful, your product will receive hundreds of reviews/ratings in just a couple of weeks. I'll give you an example with the cost. Product launch, 1. Vine programs launched, all available countries offering it. As of 2025, only the US, Canada, UK, France, Germany, Italy, Spain, Japan, and Australia, which means 9 Vine programs launched during the soft launch. Amount of products assigned in each Vine, 30. Set it to the maximum, always. Reviews obtained in 2 months, 30 multiplied by 9 equal 270 reviews. This is the maximum, but in reality, you should get an average of 25 reviews out of 30 in each country. Average rating obtained, 4.5 stars for a product with no major flaws. Average price for each Vine launch, depends on the country, $150. Product landed cost, $8 for this example. Total cost of the full Vine launch, 150 multiplied by 9 plus 360 multiplied by 8. That's a total of $3,510. You might think that it's a lot, but with experience, I can guarantee you that paying $3,510 to obtain 270 reviews with a rating of 4.5 stars in about 2 months is a pretty good deal, as it gives you a huge market advantage. Note, you cannot get more than 30 Vine reviews per country for a parent ASIN. If you merge 2 product variations, child ASINs, that put you over that limit in a specific country, Amazon will just cap the total at 30 Vine reviews for that country. 4. Early Reviewer Program, where available. In some marketplaces, Amazon offers an early reviewer program where they incentivize buyers to leave reviews. Amazon handles the incentive, not you. The cost varies by marketplace, but is typically worth it for the review velocity. Fast Review Acquisition Step 2. Launch Phase, days 11 to 60. Once your product has some reviews from Vine, aim to have 10 reviews minimum to move out of the soft launch phase, it's time to start scaling your review generation. 1. Temporarily keep your low price for volume and Vines. During the launch phase, consider keeping your product price low or slightly below break-even to drive volume. More sales means more potential reviews, which is still your main goal at this point of your quest. Just be sure to keep your margins reasonable enough to fund your PPC campaigns. 2. Automate review requests with Helium 10, or Jungle Scout, or Sellerboard, or etc. Turn on the automated review request feature in Helium 10, or similar tools in Jungle Scout or Sellerboard. These tools automatically send follow-up emails to your customers asking for reviews after they receive the product from Amazon, saving you hours of manual work. The key is timing. I found that sending the request 4 days after delivery yields the highest conversion rate. At this point, the customer has had enough time to use the product, but hasn't forgotten about their purchase. Note, you can also send review requests manually directly from your Seller Central account on each of your Amazon orders in Seller Central, Orders, Manage Orders, Open Specific Order, and Request a Review button. 3. Follow up directly, email, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, etc., with your out-of-Amazon traffic customers. During the launch phase, it's recommended to boost your sales with out-of-Amazon traffic non-profitable sales. More on this later in chapter 39. Also, regardless of your means of acquiring non-Amazon traffic to your Amazon listing, you'll have to follow up with them by sending a simple Term of Services compliant message. For example, follow-up message, 1 interaction. Thank you for trying you put your product name. We hope it's working well for you. If you have a moment, would love to hear your honest thought in a review. Your feedback would greatly help our new brand. Here's the link to do it. Amazon.com/RYP. That's for Amazon USA. If it would be, for example, for Amazon Canada, that would be Amazon.ca/RYP. It will only take you 2 minutes. I've tested dozens of message variations, and this simple, direct approach consistently performs well. No manipulation, no incentives offered to respect terms of services, just a gentle reminder. That said, If you have the time or human resources to do it, I highly recommend you reach out to your customers with a call to action message. And once the conversation is engaged, immediately ask for a review. That's the ideal follow-up strategy. For example, follow-up message, 2 interactions. Thank you for trying our, enter your product name. How is your product so far? Is everything okay? Then wait for them to answer. Once they did, you reply, wonderful, I'm glad to hear that. By the way, if you have a moment, would love to hear your honest thought in a review. Your feedback would greatly help our new brand. Here's the link to do it. Amazon.com/RYP. Again, that's for Amazon USA. For Amazon Canada, you would, for example, put Amazon.ca/RYP. It will only take you 2 minutes. Fast review acquisition, step 3. Post-launch phase. Ongoing review automation. After the initial 60-day launch period, again, we will cover the full launch timeline in the next chapter, you should have market validated your product and, if so, put down a second bulk order to your supplier. It's now time to implement an extra system that generates reviews on autopilot. 1. Insert thank you cards with a QR code. This is an underrated weapon for review generation. Branded thank you cards included in your packaging with a QR code that links directly to the review section of your listing. And if you think, I myself would never even read such a thing, well, guess what? First, you're most likely not the target audience of your product. And second, everyone is different. My average QR code click-through rate for all products with my thank you card is about 4%, and 25% of them leave a review. In other words, a simple thank you card generates for me a review rate of 1% of all of my units sold. This additional 1% is just too good to be overlooked. But there are rules to follow. A thank you card should thank the customer for their purchase, include the QR code leading directly to a real adding value item, for example, an ebook, not just a shallow 10% discount, either through option 1, a web page on your website with a clear link to review your product next to the gift. Option 2, and that's recommended, a messenger or WhatsApp bot leading the customer through the gift, ebook, etc., and your review page. This is my favorite as it creates a real connection with your customers and provides you their contact info. ManyChat Premium promo code. For creating business-to-consumers bots through WhatsApp, Messenger, or even TikTok, I have been using the web app ManyChat for years on manychat.com. Follow this link to apply an instant discount to your ManyChat account. endgamexp.com/promo codes. Your thank you card should also offer customer support contact information, for example, your company email, and feature your brand colors and logo. Also, just keep your thank you message simple. For example, love your new, enter your product name. Good, we'll also have a gift for you. Scan this QR code to get it now. One last thing, the Amazon review game is a marathon, not a sprint. Focus on delivering an exceptional product first, then implement these legitimate review generating systems. I've seen products, including mine, climb from 0 to more than 500 reviews in under 12 months using just these methods. No shortcuts, no risk, just consistent application of proven techniques. Key takeaways. The acquisition speed of your first reviews determines your momentum. Your BSR, conversion rate, and sales velocity all depend on it. Amazon's algorithm favors listings with fast early engagement. The Vine program is your main launchpad. There are 4 critical review thresholds, 1, 10, 100, and 500, that unlock different levels of buyer trust. Never manipulate Amazon reviews against Amazon terms of services, as one mistake can cost you your entire business. Automate and systemize ethical review generation from review number 1 to 500. Then defend your rating like your life depends on it. Chapter 37. How can I forecast my launch timeline? Now that you have your listing ready and are ready to launch your product efficiently, let's first define what your launch goals actually are. After successfully launching many products on dozens of marketplaces, I've found that the main struggle is when you don't have concrete targets to reach. It's when you don't know when the launch is done or when you should pivot strategies. So let's fix that right now. Launch phases goals, your North Star. You should always break down every product launch into 3 distinct phases. each with its own success criteria. Soft launch or the launch phase 0 with no PPC. Goal 1. Launch the maximum number of vines possible. Europe, UK, and or US, Canada, and or Japan, Australia. It depends on your budget. Goal 2. Receive a minimum of 10 reviews in the local language by cross-selling to your existing customers from the same brand and from vines. Launch phase 1. Still with no PPC. Goal 3. Rank your product on the first half of page 1 on desktop voice search results for your product's main keyword research, which means ranking between position 1 and 25. Goal 4. Have a product rating minimum equal to the average rating of the competitors. Goal 5. Generate no more non-profitable sales via Amazon promotions using percentage off promo codes. See chapter 39. Launch phase 2 with PPC. Goal 6. Rank the product on the first half of page 1 between position 1 and 25 on desktop web search for all of your product's hyper-relevant keywords. See chapter 34. Goal 7. Have a minimum of 50 plus reviews. Goal 8. Have a rating minimum equal to the average rating of the competitors. Goal 9. Have the product conversion rate stable for at least 2 weeks. Goal 10. Have the product revenue to minimum $10,000 per month. Goal 11. Have the PPC sales represent maximum 50% of your sales. And goal 12. Have the PPC's campaign tacos maximum equal the product net margin without including your PPC campaign's budget, aka the dirty margin. Here's the key element to understand, and this one is very important. Your product is only considered fully launched and validated when all these goals are achieved. Not some of them, all of them. In chapter 41, I will explain in more details what metrics to track and how to track them to fulfill each one of these goals. Dirty margin versus clean margin versus pure margin. From chapter 41 on, we'll start to address PPC campaigns budgets and forecast your product real net margins. Also, I would like to share with you my method that I used for many years for referring to the different types of net margins that we will use in this book. DM, or the dirty margin. Your product net margin, excluding PPC campaigns budget. Your dirty margin is your product gross revenue minus your landed cost, your ex-work product price plus quality control plus shipping, minus the Amazon fees. It represents your product organic sales net margin. CM, clean margin. It's your product net margin, including the PPC campaigns budget. Your clean margin is basically your dirty margin minus your tacos. And finally, the PM, the pure margin. It's your business net margin, including any expenses related to your business activity in regards to all your products. Your pure margin is basically your clean margin minus your tech fees. For example, your Helium 10 subscription, ManyChat, accounting, etc. And your non-variable expenses. For example, the freelancer missions you pay on Upwork, etc. You can view it as your business net margin, pre-tax of course. You will find these terms in the glossary, should you need a reminder, and all of the many other acronyms in this book. Welcome to the advertising world. Different margins explained. In the paperback version, you can find a table that very clearly explains what the dirty margin is versus the two other margins. In a nutshell, your dirty margin includes your landed cost and your Amazon fee, which are the FBA fee, storage fee, and delivery fee. Your clean margin is the same thing by including also the PPC budget, and your pure margin is the same thing that includes also the business expenses. You also have the DTY, what I call the dollar to yourself, which is the pure margin as well as the corporate taxes included. What's not included in the launch timeline? Before we dive into the timeline itself, let me clarify something. The launch timeline I'm about to share starts at day 0, which is when your minimum inventory becomes available for sale in the Amazon warehouse. The following pre-launch tasks aren't included in this timeline since you should have completed them before day 0. That includes getting your product listing text fully written as well as their metadata entered in the parameters, size, weight, etc. Getting your product listing images ready. The A+ content isn't mandatory as we just saw in chapter 32. Setting up your social media pages, images, and text. At least 3 images per platform is enough, which can be the same ones used in your Amazon listing to save time. Making sure that you have enough available units ready for sale in the Amazon warehouses, and building your minimum viable brand website, optional as we just saw in chapter 33. The launch timeline using a Gantt chart. I've created a comprehensive Gantt chart that maps out every step of the launch process for a private label product on Amazon. Feel free to use the template to replicate it for your future launches. In the paperback version, you can find a screenshot of the launch timeline template mentioned. You can also access its digital version on endgamexp.com/FBA cheat codes-LVL5. Your launch timeline should cover everything from defining your pricing strategy, executing your soft launch for the reason we covered in chapter 36, automating your review request using Helium 10, launching out of Amazon traffic ads campaign to quickly reach your target sales velocity, more on this in chapter 39, following up with your non-Amazon traffic customers, more on this in chapter 39 as well, deploying targeted Amazon PPC campaigns using the exact targeting type on the keywords we identified in step 7 out of 7 of chapter 34, request your product cubic scan to Amazon, and reorder your product's second bulk order if your market fit has been validated. Let me walk you through this timeline using a specific example. Case study, the baby product launch. Let me walk you through a real launch I executed for a baby product. Pre-launch, not in the timeline. Built minimalistic brand website, took 1 day. Created Instagram, Facebook, TikTok accounts, took 1 day. Built branding and listing images with professional 3D artist and designer, it took 15 days. Finalized product listing, including the keyword research and the text building, 3 days. And shipped inventory to Amazon, it took 45 days via ocean, because it was in Europe. Day 0 to 7, the soft launch. Set initial pricing at minus 10% of target price for the Vine value increase mentioned in chapter 36. Enroll product in Vine program with the max amount of products, that's 30. By the end of the 7th day of that soft launch, my listing had 8 Vine reviews posted, a rating of 4.7 stars, and 22 total Vine claim rating to turn into reviews. Day 8 to 18, the launch phase 1. Set a 50% off Amazon promotion, that's the percentage off promo code, for these 10 days. Set pricing at plus 10% of the target price for increasing the perceived value of the 50% promotion applied, but mostly to later have a strike-through price displayed on the listing. Run a Facebook ads campaign by clearly announcing that the product has a 50% Amazon promotion. That's percentage off promo codes, more on that in chapter 39. By the 18th day, my product was generating 10 organic sales a day and 10 sales with a 50% Amazon promo code. Since my sales velocity target was 10 a day, I could stop the Amazon promo. At this point, I had 12 Vine reviews and 3 organic reviews. I was ranking in the top 20 of 50% of my highly relevant keywords. Day 18 to 30, the launch phase 2. Adjusted pricing to target price, 10% lower than during the launch phase 1 period, and confirmed that the plus 10% strike-through price appeared on my listing. Launch my Amazon exact type PPC campaigns targeting my main hyper-relevant keywords. My initial TACOS was 38% at day 20, 2 days after launching my exact campaigns. By day 30, my TACOS was down to 15%. By day 60, my TACOS was at 8%. My reviews count reached 32 by day 30 with a rating of 4.5 stars. I was ranking in the top 15 of 75% of my hyper-relevant keywords. After a launch phase of 1 month, the product was fully launched and validated according to all our criteria, generating a daily run rate of roughly $420, which is $12,600 per month, with a 15% profit margin. Launch budget requirement. Let's take, for example, a $29.99 product, $30 to make the math simpler, in a medium-sized niche in only one marketplace, the USA, with the following realistic targets. Market, Amazon USA. Product price, $30. Landed cost, so the ex-work product price plus quality control plus shipping, $10. Target turnover, $20K per month. Target monthly sales velocity, 20,000 divided by 30, so that's 666 units per month. Target daily sales velocity, 666 divided by 30 equal 22 units per day. 28% net margin without the PPC budget, aka the dirty margin. 20% net margin with the PPC budget included, aka the clean margin, with a target TACOS of 8%. We already covered in chapter 36 that a successful launch requires a sufficient budget to cover 3 paid acquisition channels. 1. The Vine program enrollment fees. The program enrollment fee is $200. The Vine product enrolled themselves, which is $30, the maximum, multiplied by $10, which are your landed costs in this example. So that represents $300. 2. The out of Amazon traffic to generate non-profitable sales during the initial launch period. To forecast how many units to sell without any profit, let's take an example of selling your product with a promotion of 50% on it, which is the lowest you can set up in Amazon by respecting the Amazon terms of services using the Amazon promotion, the percentage off promo codes. That way, you're guaranteed to reach your target sales velocity with almost no ad budget at all. And again, by respecting the Amazon terms of services. We'll talk more about how to achieve that in chapter 39. But for now, let's consider that you'll generate these 22 daily sales during 10 days at a 50% discount price to reach your target sales velocity. Which means in our example that you will need 22, which is your target daily sales velocity, multiplied by 10 days, equal 220 units sold at 50% discount. Since the product is sold for $30 and your dirty margin is 28%, an Amazon Term of Services compliant 50% reduction means that each product sale will cost you $30 multiplied by 50% minus $30 multiplied by 28% equal $6.6. So, selling 220 units sold with a 50% Amazon promotion, the percentage off promo code, would cost you 220 multiplied by 6.6 equal $1,452 extra dollars. From my experience, I can say that today, as of 2025, acquiring a customer with Facebook paid traffic in the USA for a $30 product with a 50% Amazon promotion, the percentage off promo code, costs around $3. This cost per acquisition number is that low since you are almost giving away your product. So your Facebook ad campaign budget for selling 22 units per day during 10 days would realistically be 22 multiplied by $3 multiplied by 10 equal $660 extra dollars. Note 1. This last part might seem like a lot and isn't fully mandatory, but this is an expense that a lot of successful sellers consider impossible to skip after deploying it once because it enables you to immediately rank on the first pages of your niche keyword in just a few days and enables you to validate, or not, your product in a matter of weeks instead of months. Note 2. Of course, you can achieve the same sales velocity by increasing your Amazon PPC budget at your normal product price instead of offering a 50% Amazon promotion, the percentage off promo codes. But Amazon PPC campaigns do not guarantee you sales, especially when you have very little social proof or reviews on your listing. The 50% Amazon promotion, the percentage off promo codes, campaign for out of Amazon traffic gives you more control over who's redeeming your promo codes and how many times a day. Again, more on that in chapter 39. This is by far the fastest way to reach your target sales velocity efficiently and in a controlled manner. Note 3. The ranking of your product on each keyword is based on the BSR of your product. Quote unquote, a product's BSR is tied to sales volume. The source of that quote comes from the official communication made on the Amazon Seller Central forum. A sale with 50% Amazon promotion, the percentage off promo codes, applied to it has the same impact on your product's BSR as a sale with no promotion. Note 4. Any Amazon promotion, the percentage off promo codes, of more than 30% is not eligible for receiving an Amazon review. Consider these high promotion sales only as a way to increase your sales velocity, not a cheap way to obtain reviews. 3. The initial PPC campaigns cost. During your launch phase 2, always forecast a PPC spend slightly above your dirty margin. Specifically, always expect to run at 2 points above your dirty margin. In this case, 28 plus 2 equal 30% tacos before dropping to your 8% target tacos. Since your 28% dirty margin is your break-even point, a 30% tacos represents an extra ad cost of 2% of sales. So, since your turnover during the 2 weeks, which is half a month, of the launch phase 2 is $20,000 divided by 2 equal $10,000, your extra ads budget during these 2 weeks is 2% multiplied by $10,000, so $200 extra dollars. So here's the total launch budget for this specific product example you need to add to your product launch budget forecast. Total launch budget is 200 plus 300 plus 1,452 plus 660 plus 200 for a total of $2,812. Does that number seem high? Well, consider this. As soon as your product launch is over, so 1 month after your first sale, this product will start generating 20% clean margin multiplied by $20,000, so $4,000 of profit per month. In the paperback version, you see a screenshot of the launch phase budget calculator template using the example numbers we just mentioned. You can also access the digital version on endgamexp.com/FBA cheat codes-LBL5. Avoiding seasonal pitfalls. One last critical aspect of launch planning is understanding seasonal challenges that can derail your timeline. Here are the key periods to watch out for. The Chinese holidays, where factory close. Chinese New Year, between January and February. 2 to 3 weeks of country shutdown. Golden Week, from the 1st until the 7th of October. 1 week country shutdown. Dragon Boat Festival, June. 3-day country shutdown. And Mid-Autumn Festival, in September. 3-day country shutdown. US warehouse congestion periods. Black Friday and Cyber Monday preparation, 15th of October until the 15th of November. You can add at least 1 week for processing. Holiday seasons, between 15th of November until the 31st of December. Add 2 weeks to processing. And the Pride Day preparation, 2 to 3 weeks before each event. Add 1 week to processing. Plan your inventory shipments accordingly. A successful launch can easily be ruined by running out of stock just as you start gaining momentum. It wouldn't be the end of the world, but most likely it would mean another launch to perform when your second batch arrives. Remember, launching a product isn't a one-day event. It's a carefully orchestrated campaign that unfolds over weeks and then months to keep your success going. Having a clear timeline with concrete goals for each phase will keep you on track and help you make data-driven decisions about when to advance to the next stage of your launch planning. Key takeaways. The only real validation of a product launch is hitting all 12 goals across reviews, rankings, sales performances, and PPC efficiency. Divide your launch into 3 phases: soft launch, organic ranking, the launch phase 1, and the PPC scaling, launch phase 2, with clear success metrics for each. Expect to invest around $2.5K for a $30 product launch with a $20,000 monthly revenue target in the USA, which covers Vine, PPC, and promo-driven paid sales. Non-profitable sales like the 50% off Amazon promotion with the percentage off promo codes offered on external traffic are an Amazon Terms of Services compliant tool to hit ranking velocity faster than via Amazon PPC campaigns alone. Plan launches around factory shutdowns and Amazon warehouses congestion, as inventory gaps can quickly kill your momentum. Chapter 38. Is the product honeymoon phase a real thing or a myth? Let's talk about one of the everlasting myths that I've crossed in the Amazon FBA space. The famous Amazon honeymoon period that is supposed to give an extra push to new products hitting the Amazon marketplaces. I can't even count how many times I've read or even heard this line. Make sure to have your product listing perfectly ready before opening it to make the most out of the Amazon honeymoon period. Or Amazon boost your product listing for the first 10 to 30 days. It's called the honeymoon phase, and after that, you'll struggle. I'm going to clearly choose a side here and say it. The honeymoon period myth is bullshit. There's no special algorithm boost for new sellers or sellers' product. Zero. Nada. Now, since you are probably already familiar with the term, you might ask me to prove what I'm saying, but that isn't how this specific belief works. If you believe that a business fact exists and want to convince me so, it's your responsibility to prove that it does. with scientifically proven studies, and not to the non-believer to prove to you that this fact doesn't exist. But I'll still try. In the year 2024, I ran a little experiment by launching 2 variations of a product under a new brand with the same features in the same niche, using the same pictures and copy. I simply launched them under 2 separate ASINs that I merged later as variations. The only difference between the two was that for ASIN A, I used a regular launch strategy with external traffic and a 50% Amazon promotion, see previous chapter, to reach a high sales velocity quickly. And for ASIN B, I just listed it and waited for the miracle honeymoon period to kick in. Results? Product A smoothly climbed up the ranks and started generating consistent daily organic sales within 2 weeks as expected, with my normal non-promotional product price. Meanwhile, Product B stood still like a big potato on page 4 for all of its hyper-relevant keyword searches. No visibility, meaning no sales, and absolutely no magical algorithm stroke. After 30 days, Product A was organically and consistently selling 15 to 20 units per day with its target product price, and Product B, 7 units in total, all generated by random searches using long-tail keywords. Not much honeymoon love there, right? Now, this was only one experiment, and yes, to prove a theory, you would need to isolate each variable to essentially try and understand how the Amazon algorithm really works, which I would guess even Amazon engineers couldn't fully explain. I'm saying it as an ex-sales engineer who worked at Amazon UK for 2 years. So, one might ask, why is this urban legend still hanging around? Why isn't Amazon just straight up uncovering it and being transparent about this honeymoon period being real or not? There's 2 reasons. First, Amazon has no interest in denying it. The more third-party sellers there are on Amazon marketplaces, the more product selections they can display to their customers, making more money in the end. If sellers were aware that no miracle launch boost exists, there would be far fewer products flooding Amazon's marketplace. The irrational fear that Amazon is owned by big brands and already saturated is one of the main reasons why new sellers never launch their first product on Amazon. And if Amazon denied the existence of a magical honeymoon, this fear would grow even more. Second, and it's a bit cynical, Amazon experts and influencers are brewing the myth up. Why? Well, to urge more sellers to use their tools or courses. The Amazon honeymoon, believe you've been missing out on it, catchphrase is appealing to young sellers when they are hearing it from so-called experts, saying things like, don't worry about being a noob, the honeymoon period will get you there on page 1, even if your listing sucks. The mistake stems from a simple confusion between correlation and causality. The legendary honeymoon boost isn't anything more than the artificial conversion boost you get during a launch. Indeed, when you drive conversion through external traffic, extra PPC campaigns launch budget, and special launch pricing offer, etc., during a launch, the algorithm assumes that your product listing is performing well and rewards it accordingly. The famous honeymoon cliff some sellers experience is simply the algorithm catching up to their real conversion rate after their launch operation and too abruptly, which is why you need a smooth transition between your launch phases to clearly identify what your organic performances really are post-launch. Think about it. If Amazon truly privileged new listings, every seller would just keep launching new listings for their best sellers to take advantage. They'd close the listing after a few months, then start the operation again. If a listing can rank up to the top 10 position on a keyword with 50,000 search volume, then why bother spending years building up your social proof to organically reach this position? Just launch a brand new product listing and that's it. It might sound obvious to some people, but debunking this myth might save you from tilting at windmills. You simply aren't special in the Amazon game and will be treated like any other seller from day one. The platform is consistently comparing your listing's conversion rate against competitors from the same keywords. So you need to understand that only your sales velocity, conversion rate, product relevance, and customer satisfaction will lead you to getting a solid BSR organically. Instead of wasting any more time pursuing imaginary myth, Concentrate on building a better offer than your competitors. Make sure that your listing is well optimized with hyper-relevant keywords and develop a launch strategy that fully leverages the game mechanics. Luckily, you have the right book just for that. And the next chapter will make you forget about any fake honeymoon real quick. Chapter 39. How can I shorten my launch timeline with a Starship launch? An object in motion stays in motion. Isaac Newton. First law of motion. As mentioned in the previous chapter, don't try to be the seller who makes their launch super complicated trying to trick a magic honeymoon algorithm that doesn't exist. I actually was one of them in my first FBA years. But let me tell you what actually works best for launching a private label product on Amazon. A product's Starship launch process. It's a powerful recipe that will guarantee solid organic sales momentum by fueling your product's launch rocket with a big boost so it reaches the Amazon thermosphere as quickly as possible. How about reaching the top 10 position on page 1 of the search result for your top 10 hyper-relevant keywords in less than 2 weeks after making your first sale? That's what experienced Amazon FBA sellers are doing for their private label products, especially when launching a new brand. So, to survive your first weeks and start your quest in the best way possible, you need to compete at that level. The effective Starship launch recipe. The Starship launch doesn't rely on deception or some non-term of services compliance sketchy methods. It's about running an external ad campaign, for example with Facebook ads, to promote your product with the highest term of services compliant product promotion code to reach your target daily sales velocity to signal to the Amazon algorithm that your product is worth getting a top BSR, which means ranking well. Here's the process in a nutshell. First, you'll define your target daily sales velocity to reach the top of page 1 on your main hyper-relevant keywords. Second, you'll create a non-public promotion code in Amazon Seller Central with the highest percentage possible authorized by Amazon, which is 50% in 2025. Third, you'll create an advertising on an external platform like Meta Ads to create a Facebook ad campaign that will advertise your 50% promotion and redirect your prospect to a chatbot. 4, you'll create an automation flow on the service manychat.com to automatically communicate on Facebook Messenger with your prospect who clicked on your ads. It may sound complex, but it's just a sequence of automatic message engaging customers toward your 50% promo in a way that stays compliant with the Amazon terms of services. There will be more detail provided. And finally, 5, you will monitor the amount of prospects who purchased your product using the 50% promo code each day. This works beautifully because it creates real external traffic, which the Amazon algorithm loves. It generates real conversions from real buyers, not fake users, using the 50% promo code directly on Amazon, which sends a strong signal of term of services compliancy to Amazon. It's easy to control as your 50% Amazon promotion code can easily be capped to any number of sales you need each day. And it works alongside your listing, generating normally priced sales because only your prospect from external traffic will have the 50% promotion code. Here's how to deploy this Starship launch method while keeping your seller account safe. Step 1. Find your target daily sales velocity. More units sold means a better BSR. That's the rule written by Amazon. But how many units is enough to reach the top of page 1 for all of your hyper-relevant keywords, not just your main one? Here's how to answer the question. First, identify the competitor's product you plan to steal the market share from. You should already have a list of your serious competitors from the product validation stage. See the second criterion of chapter 8. So pick one of the lowest hanging fruit. That is the one with the lowest rating and lowest review counts. Then divide its monthly units sold number by 30 and boom, you now have the target daily sales velocity for your product. But that doesn't mean that each keyword you plan to rank on require your product to be selling this exact amount. This metric exists and it's called the CPR in Helium 10. Second, connect to Helium 10 and go to the magnet tool. Make an async search of the competitor you plan to steal the market share from first. Third, identify the keyword that is the most relevant for your product with the highest search volume and the best or highest ABA total click share. And 4, look for the column named CPR. If the CPR number divided by 8 is higher than the target daily sales velocity you previously defined, search for that keyword in the Amazon search bar on the Amazon Marketplace and by using the Helium 10 extension, X-Ray. Look at the last product that is making more than 10K revenue while ranking on page 1. Then check what is the CPR of that product's ASIN on this keyword. So go to Helium 10, Magnet, CPR on this specific keyword. If this CPR divided by 8 is still higher than your target daily sales velocity previously defined, then you'll have to increase your target daily sales velocity to rank on that keyword. More on that later. If the CPR number divided by 8 is lower than your target sales velocity you previously defined, then you'll be able to rank at the top of that keyword with your target sales velocity. Step 2. Set up a 50% off promo discount code on Seller Central. First, go to your Seller Central account in Seller Central/marketing/manage promotions and deals. Second, select percentage off and click create. Third, set a single use group promo code for 50% with the following parameters. Buyer purchase at least $2, purchase items, your product ASIN. Buyers get 50% off. This is the maximum authorized by Amazon to comply with the Amazon Terms of Services. Applies to your product ASIN. Budget, that's where you put your target daily sales velocity multiplied by 10 days, multiplied by the selling price multiplied by 50%. For example, for a product sold at $30 with a target daily sales velocity of 22, that's 22 multiplied by 10 multiplied by 30 times 50%, and that's a total of $3,300 of budget. Note, this budget isn't what you have to pay, but a discount budget that Amazon will apply to your fully priced sales. For a complete budget calculation of your launch, refer to Chapter 37. Scheduling 10 days, that's the 10 days of your launch phase 1 period. Claim code type, enter group, only one claim per customer, don't allow promotion stacking, and make sure that this promo is not public. It must remain only available for the prospects who have followed your ad funnel. Once your Amazon promo code is valid, save it somewhere safe as you'll need it during the next step in your ManyChat automated chatbot flow. Step 3. Configure your ManyChat flows. Note, in the next pages, I'll be providing an overview about how to set up your ManyChat account and flows by deploying your product Starship launch, but I won't be covering the basics about each ManyChat element. To learn more about them, for example, what is a condition element, what is the bot field, etc., you can check the ManyChat official documentation or the thousands of great video tutorials about the platform on YouTube. I promise learning about this social media marketing tech platform will be worth it for your private label business. As previously mentioned in Chapter 36, ManyChat on ManyChat.com is a platform that I've been using for years, enabling you to create customized automated chatbots that can communicate to your social media followers. This tool existed way before the AI boom and is still a leader in social media marketing tech. It can be plugged into your brand account on Facebook to communicate via Facebook Messenger, Instagram, WhatsApp, or TikTok to send automated messages that can gather subscriber info, make time announcements, send content like your Amazon promo code, and more. The best part is that the system is offering a no-code interface giving a visual drag-and-drop user experience. This is the service you'll use as an external promotion tool to share your 50% promo codes while staying 100% Term of Services compliant with Amazon. Connect your Facebook page to your ManyChat account. You can connect your ManyChat account to different social media, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, or TikTok. But my recommendation when launching a new brand with a non-market validated yet product is to run your Starship launch through Facebook. Here's the main reason. Facebook ads are cheaper. Keep in mind that at this stage of your quest, you will only run ads for your temporary promotion. And during a launch, you need to lower your cost as much as possible. The average CPM for ads on Facebook is way cheaper than the CPM on Instagram and TikTok, since the Facebook platform is in decline as of 2025 and less popular for marketers than the others. Also, there are still hundreds of millions of active Facebook accounts that you can tap into for your ads campaign. Remember, you're not yet at the stage of building a strong brand name on these social media. You're just trying to get few sales at a cheap cost. You'll be able to grow your follower base on other platforms later. Here are the steps to follow. First, create a Meta business account. You can find the proper process on how to do so here, business.facebook.com/overview. Second, create a Facebook brand page of your brand in your Facebook business account. It's on Facebook business settings, /accounts/pages/ create a new page. You can simply add a logo, name, and basic description. Ideally by posting a few pictures of your product, but that's not mandatory. Third, create a Facebook ads account in your Facebook business account. That's on Facebook business settings, /accounts/ads account/add/create a new ad account. 4. Still in your Facebook business account, link both your Facebook brand page and your Facebook ads account to your Facebook personal account. That's in business settings, /accounts/pages/ads account/select page/ads account/click add people/select your name/toggle admin access. 5. Next, log into ManyChat.com to create a ManyChat account by using your Facebook personal account. And finally, 6. Add your Facebook brand page to your ManyChat account. Your ManyChat account is now ready. All the automations and chats will be linked to your Facebook page chatbot via Facebook Messenger, and the ad clicks received from your Facebook ads campaign you'll run on Facebook via your Facebook ads account will be able to send traffic to your ManyChat automated chatbots. Create a ManyChat counterflow. Next, you'll create an automated counterflow with a target daily sales velocity you want to reach for your launch. This ManyChat feature is great for controlling the exact amount of promotion sales you want to achieve per day, as it caps the number of discount codes that can be claimed each day, which you cannot set up in Seller Central. First, go to ManyChat/settings/fields/bot fields and create the following bot field. Name, product daily limit, type number, and value. You enter your target daily sales velocity number. Next, go to ManyChat/settings/fields/user fields and create the following user field. Name today's date and type date. And then you go to ManyChat/automation and click on New Automation. You will find on the link I will provide next and on the paperback version screenshot the automation to set up a counterflow that will cap the amount of promoted units per day you will be able to sell. This flow's only job is to reset its amount once each day to the target daily sales velocity value. You can see and download the ManyChat counterflow on endgamexp.com/FBA cheat codes-LVL5. Note, it's important to notice that you'll need to activate this flow by yourself with a manual trigger, the first element in the ManyChat flow. I recommend you to set a complex triggering word to send to the Facebook page via Messenger so only you can activate it. Create a ManyChat automated chatbot flow. Now that your target daily sales velocity counterflow is set to reset daily, you'll need to create another automation flow, this time for your chatbot to interact with each customer who will click on your Facebook ad. First, go to your Google Drive and create a Google Sheet with the following columns, named in the row 1. Name in cell A1, Amazon order ID in cell B1, email in cell C1, shipped in cell D1, and address in cell E1. Note, this Google Sheet will help you keep an eye on how many customers have purchased your promoted product each day via your ManyChat flow, as well as gathering your customers' information for better control. Then, go to ManyChat/settings/integration and click on Connect Google Sheets account to connect your Google Drive account. Next, go to ManyChat/settings/notifications/email and change the notification email to your work email address. Then, go to ManyChat/settings/fields/user fields and create the following user field. Name Amazon order ID, type text. And finally, go to ManyChat/automation and click on New Automation. On the link provided at the end of this paragraph, you will find the automation to create to set up the chatbot that will provide all the information necessary for the people who have clicked on your Facebook ad to lead them to purchase your product on Amazon using your 50% Amazon promo code. As you can see, this flow will automatically check if your bot field product daily limit has a value below your target daily sales velocity value before providing the promo code to ensure that you won't be selling more than your daily sales target. It will also automatically update it when a new promo sale is confirmed. Simply access the following link and copy this flow into your own ManyChat account. Once done, don't forget to connect your new automation flow to the Google Sheet you just created. You can find the ManyChat automation flow on endgamexp.com/FBA cheatcodes-LVL5. Step 4. Feed your ManyChat bot with Facebook ads traffic. Now that both your automation flows are ready on ManyChat, it's time to set up your Facebook ad campaign to feed your ManyChat funnel. This is where the magic happens, turning external traffic into Amazon sales velocity in an automated way. Here's how I configure my Facebook ads for the maximum effect. First, connect to your Facebook Ads Manager page via your Facebook business account, then click Create Campaign. Then under Choose Your Objective, select Conversions, not traffic or engagement. Then set up a daily campaign budget of $3 multiplied by the target daily sales velocity. Again, from experience, a $3 cost per acquisition is enough. See Chapter 37. For example, if your target sales velocity is 10 sales, then $30 per day is enough to reach it. You most likely won't need to spend it all each day. Then define an ad set with a new custom audience that targets the demographics matching your avatar and the interest connected to your product niche. Then keep the creative simple but effective. You don't need to hire a designer. Choose a product image showing the best shot of the item. Add a headline showing 50% off today clearly. And in the ad's body text, mention the limited availability, like only 3 left today. And finally, set up the creative's call to action button to your ManyChat flow. Note, you really shouldn't overthink this ad design or copy. The goal here is to attract new customers who are more interested in your discount offer rather than your brand or even product. Also, you would be surprised how a ridiculously cheaply priced offer, like the 50% offer you're setting up, can overcome an average ad design in a customer's buying intent. Remember, we're not aiming for profitability here, only rank. The call to action button must direct users to Messenger, not to Amazon. This will activate your ManyChat sequence and let you capture their email, manage promo code sharing, and track results. Note, since you'll be able to monitor how many promo sales you generate each day via your Google Sheet, in the step 3, feel free to manually pause the Facebook ads campaign each day, each time you reach your target daily sales velocity. Of course, remember to reactivate the Facebook ads campaign the next day. Step 5. Monitor and live optimize, 10 to 14 days durations. During the whole duration of the Starship launch Facebook ads campaign, you should follow this routine every day. 1. Check the organic sales in Seller Central. When an organic sale is happening, add -1 to your ManyChat bot field promo sales limit. That way, you will save yourself from selling a promoted product today. If the value of the bot field is equal to 0, connect to the Facebook Ads Campaign Manager and pause the Facebook Ads campaign until the next day. 2. Monitor the notification email coming from ManyChat. When a promoted product has successfully been sold to a customer through the Facebook Ads campaign, an email is sent to the ManyChat admin account, you. It also means that the value of the bot field product daily limit in ManyChat receives -1. So you need to connect to ManyChat every time this happens and check if the value of the bot field product daily limit is more than 0. If the value is equal to 0, connect to the Facebook Campaign Manager and pause the Facebook Ads campaign until the next day. Note, always check the list of promotion sales details in your tracking Google Sheet to confirm that each sale resulted in a valid order number. If an order number isn't valid, for example, the customer gave you random numbers, connect directly with the customer via the ManyChat chat box and ask for the missing details. If it was an error, add +1 to the ManyChat bot field product daily limit and do not stop the Facebook ad campaign. 3. Each morning, relaunch the Facebook ads campaign if you paused it the previous day. If you stopped the Facebook ads campaign the previous day, reactivate it as early as possible in the morning. It's important, especially if your core audience has an habit of shopping online before going to work. 4. Once every day, monitor the keyword ranking. When your Facebook prospects are searching for your product on Amazon, they do it with the keyword you provided them in your ManyChat automated chatbot flow. So, in Helium 10/keyword tracker, check which keyword is the most interesting for your product to rank on at the moment. It's a combination of highest volume and high relevancy and low ranking. If the best opportunity keyword, the one you need to rank higher on, is different from the one you set up in the ManyChat automated chatbot flow, modify the keyword in this ManyChat flow. As soon as you're ranking in the top 10 of your targeted keyword, you can consider switching keyword. From experience, in 10 days, you usually switch keyword twice and end up in the top 10 of your 3 best hyper-relevant keyword thanks to the Starship launch. Note, it usually takes about 3 to 4 days for a keyword ranking to reach the top 10 position with the proper target daily sales velocity. Do not switch keyword each day, not until you reach a top 10 position on that keyword. If you're still not reaching top 10 on a keyword after 3 to 4 days, you might have set up your target daily sales velocity too low for ranking in the top 10 on that keyword. 5. Once every day, monitor your product's BSR in Helium 10 and or your product ranking on your main hyper-relevant keywords. If your targeted BSR is reached, meaning you most likely reach top 10 on several of your hyper-relevant keyword search results, before the end of the Starship launch 10 to 14 day period, lower the total target daily sales velocity ManyChat bot field every 2 days until the end of your Starship launch. The post-Starship launch soft landing phase. You've done it. Your product BSR is similar to your main competitors and it's ranking in the top 10 position of your main hyper-relevant keywords after only 10 to 14 days after your first sale. Congratulations. But here's what you should now focus on: the smooth transition from promotion-driven external traffic to target price organic Amazon traffic. So, once you have enough organic sales to maintain your target daily sales velocity, decrease your external traffic target daily sales velocity in the ManyChat counter flow before the end of the Starship launch if you notice daily organic Amazon sales before the end of the 10 to 14 days, as mentioned before. At the end of the Starship launch period, delete your 50% promo code in Seller Central/marketing/manage promotions and deals. Definitely pause your Facebook ads campaign. Make sure that your ManyChat counter flow will not reset the next day from now on. Continue to check ManyChat once a day since you might have some clients following up or asking for information regarding your product. The last thing you want to do during your product's first week is to ignore your new clients, which could lead them to post bad reviews on your listing or promote your brand badly. Discounted customers are still customers. Follow your organic rank on each keyword in Helium 10/keyword tracker every day and adjust your next launch phase with PPC strategy accordingly. See Chapter 42. Do not consider your listing's conversion rate accurate during the Starship launch, as these sales were too incentivized because of your 50% Amazon promotion. Instantly launch your Amazon PPC campaigns targeting the keywords from your master keyword list. See Chapter 34. We'll cover in more detail how to keep your momentum going with a PPC strategy that meshes with your natural rank without messing up your margin from Chapter 42. Key takeaways. The Starship launch uses external traffic with an Amazon Term of Services compliant 50% promo to ignite organic momentum fast. Hitting your target daily sales velocity is the single most important ranking lever. ManyChat automation keeps promo sales controlled, compliant, and consistent. Facebook ads are the cheapest and most effective way to feed your automated launch funnel. Transition smoothly from promo-driven velocity to organic plus PPC sales to sustain top 10 rankings. Warp Zone. How can I increase my business passive growth? We just talked about automating your launch in the most optimal way possible. It was one of these cheat codes that frees up your time, helps you work faster, and lets you scale without doing everything manually by yourself. But let's look at the big picture of your entrepreneur's quest for a moment. A higher quality of life isn't uniquely based on how much money or time you have, although that helps greatly. Many studies show that people who help others tend to live longer, earn more, and enjoy better lives. For example, you can read the essay Altruism, Happiness, and Health It's Good to Be Good by Stephen Gerrard Post in 2005. So, we can also consider philanthropy being a cheat code for becoming a successful entrepreneur and a person in general. With that in mind, I would like to ask you to perform a small task. Leave an honest review of this book on Amazon, Audible, and or Kindle. Do it for the other entrepreneurs who are currently stuck in the same place you were before picking up this book. Not as a favor for me. I'll manage. Posting a review costs $0. It takes less than a minute, and it will allow you to help a fellow member of the FBA private label sellers community, as you'll either help one more entrepreneur discover this book and unlock the real power of their FBA businesses to achieve their personal dreams, enable one freelancer or employee to understand better the FBA private label business model to be more efficient in their work, allow one FBA-related service provider, like a freight forwarder, supplier, etc., to grow in a meaningful way, or make someone else's life change in the right direction, like all reviews do. Again, it takes less than a minute, costs nothing, and might be the most valuable click of your week. Here's how to do it. On Kindle or e-reader, simply scroll to the bottom of the book, swipe up, and your device will prompt you for a review. On Audible, tap the three dots at the top right of your device, click Rate and Review, and add a few sentences about the book along with a star rating. If you have the paper version, visit the book page on Amazon to post a review, or even better, directly in your orders history like this. Go to Amazon's review page, for example, amazon.com/RYP on Amazon USA, or .ca/RYP if you're in Canada, .fr/RYP if you're in France, etc. Add rating to the book, click Write a Review, add your honest opinion, sentence or two, and submit. Boom, done. P.S. If helping Amazon FBA sellers sounds fulfilling to you, you're my kind of person, and I promise that the next chapters will bring you even higher value cheat codes. PPS, writing a review will also let you experience what you'll one day ask from your Amazon clients, and you'll see for yourself that it's never hard or painful, just a quick and easy click. Putting yourself in your client's shoes is the ultimate cheat code of sales. PPPS, when you bring value to someone else, they naturally associate that value with you. So, if you share this book with a friend or coworker, you not only spread knowledge, but also gain social value for yourself. Think of it as a free ad campaign for your social approach with unlimited ROI. So, thanks. With each single review, you'll help create a cascade of better businesses and better lives. But wait, aren't the other readers my enemy? One of my beta readers asked me this. Why would an MMORPG game player encourage other game players to hear about the cheat codes book to beat the game if all the game players are playing against each other? The response is the following. Simply put, Amazon FBA isn't just a World of Warcraft PvP server where you backstab each other in the Stranglethorn Valley zone. It's more like an infinite MMORPG raid boss with Amazon's algorithm and logistics as the true enemy. So no, the guy next to you trying to grow his own private label business isn't the real enemy. The real enemy is wasting years on the wrong product, wasting money on failed launches, or getting your face pounded by Amazon's ever-changing rules. By leaving a review for this book and helping other Amazon sellers discover it, you're not handing your weapon to an opponent. You're empowering the red group. And when the red group gets stronger, mobs die faster, which helps you too. Here's why. The more educated the seller community becomes, the fewer trash products flood the market. Fewer trash products equals happier customers equal growing trust in online Amazon shopping. And growing trust in online Amazon shopping means more sales for everyone, you included. So yes, in theory, we're all players in the same game. But the truth is, the dungeon only improves the more skilled adventurers are in the group. And so does the rewards. Sharing the cheat codes doesn't weaken you. It yields real overall improvement in the ecosystem you're building your Amazon business in. And let's face it, the FBA scene is so huge that helping one other seller won't cost you any profit. But it might just increase the game rewards for everyone. Again, you included. That's why leaving a review for this book matters. You're not helping a competitor, you're helping the game to grow. Chapter 40. What's the best way to forecast my launch cost? Let me walk you through the real cost breakdown of your private label product launch, including your launch phase budget we already covered, your product landed cost, business tools, and cash flow fluctuations. Based on the launch timeline we covered in Chapter 37, I've created a simple product launch cost forecasting template designed to prevent any unexpected cash flow issues. First, it's crucial to consider that not all product launches involve the same overall budget. Besides the niche size you're launching your product in, as well as the market share you're aiming for, other variables can increase or decrease your launch cost. For example, you won't have to create a logo for your brand if the product you're launching is under one of your existing brands. That means the launch cost decrease. Or if you plan to launch Vine programs in 3 countries, that's 90 vines, instead of 30 vines, of your product, since you are confident it will be a hit from day one, that would be a launch cost increase. That's why I created the following table for you to fill in all the costs you'll decide to add to your launch phase for you to easily forecast the cost of each launch, including your business tool setup as well as your product's preparation. You can find the product launch cost forecasting template on endgamexp.com/FBA cheat codes-LVL5. Following are the details for each cost. Some are variables and depend on your product type, whereas others might depend on the country you're launching your product in. For example, Vine programs do not cost the same in the UK as in the USA. Tech fees. Helium 10 monthly fee, $99. ManyChat monthly fee, $15. Amazon Seller Central monthly fee, $30. Website hosting annual fee, $20. Product fees. Product prototype sample, refundable in bulk order. That's variable. Depends on the cost that your potential suppliers quote. Product prototypes or sample shipping via Air Express, $30 to $100, depending on how far you live from your supplier's factory. First order production, 30% payment from the supplier. That's variable. Of course, it depends on your product's X-work unique price as well as the minimum order quantity. First order production, 70% payment supplier. It's a variable for the same reason mentioned before. Alibaba trade assurance fee for the first payment only. Variable. It's 3% of your initial order payment, which usually is 30% of your total order price. Telegraphic transfer supplier payment fee, $10 to $20, depending on your bank's location and transfer fee. 100% quality control. It's variable, usually between 30 cents and 80 cents per product unit to quality control for non-electronic retail products. Telegraphic transfer quality control payment fee, $10 to $20. Again, it depends on your bank's location and transfer fee. Ocean DDP shipping via freight forwarder. It's variable. It depends on your product's destination, product dimension, volumetric weight, product weight in kilo, product factory location, and the product HS code. It impacts the potential import fees. Telegraphic transfer freight forwarder payment fee, $10 to $20. Again, depending on your bank's location and transfer fee. Custom import tax, $0 if shipped by DDP. Marketing fees. Listing text, if translation and or copyrights help needed, $0 to $100. Remember, do not use AI for copywriting in languages you don't speak. Product listing images or 3D rendering, $100 to $250. 3D rendering is more expensive but recommended. Product listing A+ content, that's optional for the launch phase, $0. Product listing video, optional for the launch phase, $0. Social media pages setup with minimum 3 images and text, $0. You can just use variations or a cropped version of your listing images. Minimal brand website design, if design help needed, $0 to $50. A cheap web designer is sufficient for a one-page brand website at launch. Vine programs. Main product Vine fee on main marketplace, between $150 and $200. Main product Vine fee on secondary marketplace 2, between $150 to $200. That's optional and risky since the product has not been validated yet. Only launch more than one Vine program if you are an advanced seller with no doubt of the success of your product. It should be regarded as an especially risky move for the first product of a new brand. Same goes for the main product Vine fee on secondary marketplace 3, 4, 5, or 6. Vine units enroll fees. That's the units enrolled in Vine multiplied by their landed cost. That's variable. Out of Amazon traffic campaign, Facebook, etc. Cost of running Facebook ads campaign to advertise the 50% discount. Variable. Important. As already mentioned, from experience as of 2024-2025, I estimate $3 to be the cost per acquisition per 50% promotion sale for all the launches of my retail product in the range of $20 to $50 on the US market for a velocity of 10 to 20 units per day. Total cost of units sold at 50% promo during the 10 days of launch phase 1. Variable, as it includes your target daily sales velocity, for example 15 units a day, your product retail price on Amazon, for example $30, and your product dirty margin, for example 28%. PPC campaign and inventory reorder. PPC budget, 0. During launch, the tacos should match your objective product's dirty margin, so PPC costs nothing extra. Second order production, 30% payment for the supplier. Variable. It depends on your ex-work product price as well as minimum order quantity. Now, you know what launching a private label product on Amazon costs in the real world. It's not just about the cost of each service, but how deep your cash flow plans to go before you can start getting paid benefits by Amazon. And that doesn't happen until after your second bulk order. I've seen way too many product launches fail, mine too at first, from lack of cash between initial sales of your first inventory, second order payment, and Amazon's first cash out window. You can't make up for the resulting sales momentum loss. Here's a golden rule of mine for any launch. Prepare for your second order down payment by setting aside at least 30% of your first inventory cost in a dedicated second order down payment cash fund. This ensures you can pay your supplier's second order deposit immediately once your sales lift off. Key takeaways. Your launch budget isn't just about cost. It's about surviving until your second order cash cycle. Forecast every variable upfront using a detailed cost template, as only guessing is how launches fail. A well-planned launch fund protects your momentum and keeps Amazon payout delays from killing your growth. Always set aside 30% of your first inventory cost for your second order deposit. Chapter 41. How can I tell if my product is a success, which means it's ready to scale, or a failure, which means it's time to downscale or liquidate? Alright, so you've launched your product, you got some Vine reviews, and you set up your PPC campaign, which we'll cover in chapter 42, following your launch timeline. Now what? A common mistake sellers make is continuing to dump money into a product without actually knowing if it's working. Or worse, abandoning a product too early because they don't understand what success looks like at different stages. That's why you need to track specific KPIs religiously, and you need to know what their values are telling you about your product's potential. We already briefly covered that there are 12 important goals to achieve during your launch phases. See chapter 37 to successfully validate your launch and therefore your product. Let me break down the 7 core metrics you should be obsessing over to achieve those 12 goals. Number 1, the amount of reviews/ratings. Why is it important? Having more reviews, social proof, drives conversion up. How to track it? For that metric, simply open your Amazon product page. You can also monitor it through the Helium 10/My Product section if you have lots of products to manage. 2, the product rating. Why is it important? Because if it's under 4.3 stars during your launch, you have a serious problem that might seriously delay your launch validation by slowing down your conversion rate progression. Above 4.4, you're great. Making sure to have a 4.3 stars rating and above is absolutely mandatory for moving from the soft launch phase to the launch phase 1. How to track it? Same as for the amount of reviews. Simply open your Amazon product page. You can also find it in the Helium 10/My Product section. 3, ranking position on product's main hyper-relevant keywords. Why is it important? Because organically ranking high on page 1 of a hyper-relevant keyword search result is the main goal of 100% of products selling on Amazon. Dharmesh Shah, the co-founder of HubSpot, once said, "The best place to hide a dead body is on page 2 of search result." If your product is stuck on page 2 plus several weeks after launch, you're doing something wrong. How to track it? In the Helium 10/keyword tracker section. 4. The product conversion rate. Why is it important? This is your listing quality scorecard. If people click on your product but don't buy, your PPC budget is being wasted, and your images, bullets, and A+ content need some revision. How to track it? First, know that Amazon has a click attribution delay of up to 48 hours, usually 24 hours for Amazon retail site and app. That means that the conversion rate, click-through rates, and ad-click data should never be considered accurate in your report for the past 24 hours. The CVR is available in Seller Central, although for easily gathering all your performance metrics and plan to scale different products across different marketplaces, I would recommend using a third-party dashboard-style SaaS tools that provides real-time profit analytics, inventory management, and tracking. I personally have been using Sellerboard on sellerboard.com for many years, and for its entry price, which is less than $20, I have been able to scale to 7 figures without needing any other analytical tool. More on that in Chapter 50. Sellerboard promo code. You can follow this link to get an instant discount applied to your sellerboard.com account. endgamexp.com/promo codes. 5. The monthly revenue rate. Why is it important? Self-explanatory, but track it daily during your launch to check if it's growing, plateauing, or dropping. How to track it? Same as the conversion rate, you can either find it easily in Seller Central or via your third-party performance analytical tool like sellerboard.com. 6. The ratio of PPC sales versus organic sales. Why is it important? Healthy product trend towards 70% organic and 30% PPC over time. If you are still at 80% PPC after 1 month post-launch, you're not ranking organically enough. How to track it? In Seller Central, in the Ads console, you'll be able to find your total PPC campaign sales. Just compare them to your total sales and you'll have your ratio of organic sales versus paid sales. And finally, 7, the PPC campaign TACOS, the total advertising cost of sales. Why is it important? This tells you how much of your total revenue is being eaten by ads. If during launch your TACOS is above your dirty margin, then you're losing money and you're going off budget for your launch. If it's below your dirty margin, again during launch, then you're not scaling enough and should spend more. How to track it? In Seller Central, in the Ads console. You can also see it per product in your sellerboard.com account. Goals and KPIs. The 12 launch goals listed in Chapter 37 depend on the mentioned KPIs values. Here's a cheat sheet to remember them. You can access the cheat sheet on endgamexp.com/FBA cheatcodes-LVL5. There is also a screenshot of the cheat sheet in the paperback version. Some launch scenarios. Now, let's talk scenarios. It's going to help you visualize the type of launch event that can happen. Because once you hit certain thresholds, the path forward becomes crystal clear as to when to move from your soft launch to your launch phase 1 to your launch phase 2. Scenario A, the struggler, downscale or pivot. 30 days post-soft launch and you're seeing fewer than 10 reviews, Vine included, and under 4.3 star rating. Not ranking in top 30 for any main keywords. Conversion rate less than 6%, not including the 50% promotion period. Less than 5K a monthly revenue rate, the daily revenue rate multiplied by 30. PPC sales versus organic sales ratio about 80-20 or worse, like 100 and 0. TACOS more than 35%. For example, for a product with a forecasted dirty margin of 28%. Action to take. Do not reorder inventory. Cut PPC spend by 50% and shift PPC budget to only your top 3 best performing keywords. If nothing improved in another 30 days, it's time to liquidate. Sell off the remaining stock by Amazon liquidation option if needed, and move on to launch another product. This isn't failure, it's data. And data saves you from wasting another 5K and 3 months on a losing product. The key is knowing when to double down and when to walk away. Scenario B, the steady performer. Hold and optimize. You are at 30 days post-soft launch and you've got 8 to 15 reviews, 4.3 stars rating. Ranking between position 11 and 25 on main keywords. Conversion rate between 6 to 8%, not including the 50% promotion period. Revenue stable at 6 to 8K monthly rate, daily revenue rate multiplied by 30. PPC sales versus organic sales ratio about 50-50, and tacos about 30%. For example, for a product with a forecasted dirty margin of 29%. Action to take. Don't scale yet. Focus on optimization. Test new main images or titles to improve your conversion rate. Tighten your PPC targeting. Lower bids on underperforming keywords. And give it another 30 days before deciding to scale by reordering inventory or discontinue the product. Note, unfortunately, at that point, you will most likely end up out of stock since you're giving yourself another 30 days to decide whether or not you'll continue this product and order your second batch. Although, if you decide to go on with it, you won't start from scratch. You might kickstart your product sales velocity again, potentially by running another 50% promo ad campaign during your relaunch, but you'll at least know that you have a winning product and that you'll turn out to be profitable later. XP boost negative. When I was a novice private label seller, I followed bad advice from a fake Amazon FBA guru that ended up costing me thousands of dollars and months of struggle. Note for the audiobook listener, I won't mention the name of that person, but just so you know, he's still active on YouTube, so be very careful. The advice was this: ending up out of stock is the worst thing that can happen to you when launching a new product. That is just false. The worst thing that can happen to you is having zero demand and not being able to sell any unit of your bulk order. Here's why I shouldn't have followed that advice. When I ordered the first batch of my very first product, I launched on the US marketplace, which was my third product overall in my Amazon FBA adventure. I was so afraid of becoming out of stock during the launch phase that I ordered way too many units for a product that very quickly turned out to be a failure. The problem is that the product had a huge demand misalignment that I didn't predict. Pro tip, always test your product with a real member of your target audience during your product sampling phase to avoid buy surprises. And I was struggling to barely achieve 25% of my targeted sales velocity. Meanwhile, the bad reviews were accumulating and I ended up almost unable to sell more than 2,000 units of a useless product. It costed me way more time, 6 months, stress and money, 2K net loss, to figure out how to liquidate these 2,000 units than it would have been to simply end up out of stock for a few weeks and relaunch the product if it was successful enough. My advice to you is that it's absolutely okay to end up out of stock, especially if you are a beginner. It's actually a blessing to be a victim of your own private label product success at least once. Scenario C, the winner, scale aggressively. You hit these marks within 25 days post soft launch. 15 plus reviews with a 4.5 plus stars rating. Ranking in top 10 for at least 3 of your main hyper-relevant keywords. Conversion rate more than 12%, not including the 50% promotion period. Revenue climbing consistently, hitting at least 8 to 10K, which is the absolute minimum. Monthly revenue rate, which is a daily revenue rate multiplied by 30. PPC sales versus organic sales ratio about 40-60 or better, like 20-80. Tacos less than 30%. For example, for a product with a forecasted dirty margin of 29%. Action to take. Order your next batch immediately. Increase your PPC budget by 20% to keep scaling. You've got a winner. Key takeaways. To know exactly where you stand during launch, track your 7 KPIs daily. Reviews, rating, ranking, conversion rate, revenue, PPC ratio, and tacos. A 4.5 plus rating and a 12% plus CVR are your launch gold standard. Anything less than 4.3 star rating or 6% conversion rate means fix your listing before scaling. Healthy products shift towards 70% organic sales and 30% PPC sales as rankings improve. Out of stock is not failure, but unsold inventory is. Run lean, validate demand, then restock fast. Your KPIs tell you when to scale, optimize, or quit. Listen to the data, not your emotions. Level 5 section video summary. Congratulations, you've reached the end of Level 5. As your reward, please find on the following link the video summary and all the tools mentioned in the chapters of this level. endgamexp.com/FBA cheat codes -LBL5.